So a lot more updates have followed through in the past 7 to 8 hours. Let's get into them and let's discuss. Hey guys, it's Rob and Roddy. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Back at it again with another video. If you have not subscribed, please do. It is just one click. Subscribe to the channel, comment down below, send us super thanks if you guys wish to. Daily and consistent content, and let's get into this. We don't need to make a long intro. So it's interesting that there's been a lot of resignations. The president and CEO of Warner Music Japan has resigned, and the CEO of Sony Music Nashville is also suddenly resigning. 23andMe, the particular place where you can, send your DNA and your, to people to find out where you're from, 99% of the board have also resigned. I don't know if that's related to this Diddy stuff, but it's all too coincidental. There are so many people who are resigning since Diddy has been arrested and has also been charged. So where these people at the freak-offs is my reasoning, and therefore they're going to be a liability to the company, a liability to the employees, a liability to the PR of the companies that could affect sales and etc. So therefore their immediate response is only to resign, because that's only what they can do. Is this what is going on behind the scenes? Is this the reason for why they're resigning? I honestly don't know, but the timing is coincidental. And I think we would be too naive to believe that it's just a coincidence. Truly. A video of Diddy is circulating, one that I have not seen before, of him dressed as the Joker. Now, we've seen him dressed as the Joker before. I've seen that. But what I haven't seen is this particular video where, to me, it is very concerning.
So tonight, it's gonna be a special night. Everybody's so serious, but we're about to go to Club Love. Club Love! If you can't dance or you can't pop, you gotta stay at home. You know the Joker don't play that, baby. Welcome to Club Love. Hard.
Where he's talking about Club Love and, why don't you come to Club Love? I do feel like he wanted to dress as the Joker. Now looking back at it, he felt more freedom and liberation dressing as somebody who's absolutely mad, so that he can be what he really wants to be without anybody questioning it, because people will just perceive that he's just in a costume. And he's talking about, why don't you come to Club Love? And I can't imagine what he did that night in that outfit. I can't imagine what he was doing at Club Love. And I think the word love is quite scary, because he was presenting himself to be lovely and friendly, but he knew that it had a double-edged sword meaning and was quite insidious behind the scenes. So this particular outfit really is a reflection of him. I think he's just wearing the outfit, but this is how he really acts, and this is how he really is in those freak-offs. And we've seen the video with him and Cassie, so it's just very concerning. I've never seen it before, and so therefore I just wanted to add it into the video and discuss it. But Homeland Security officers who raided Diddy's home are speaking to New York Post. They say that his freak-off parties were day-long orgies. Also says he would watch the victims perform remotely on his cell phone. The agent who works for Homeland Security, helped raid Diddy's home, has spoken out in a statement to the New York Post. The agent said they saw several sex rooms and found sex tapes that featured days-long orgies. This would explain why law enforcement found so many liquid IVs alongside those baby oil bottles. The agent says there were so many cameras in the room placed in odd spaces that the victims wouldn't have realized they were being recorded. Diddy would reportedly touch himself whilst his freak-off Olympics were taking place. The agent says Diddy was so addicted that he would even watch the victims remotely from his cell phone when he wasn't in the home, and would cast the videos to televisions. In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein, says these particular officers. These women are so young, either barely legal or barely illegal. We have evidence that these women didn't feel like they were free to go. The DHS officer said, and there's video evidence that some of these girls are clearly out of it whilst these men are having intimacy with them. What are your thoughts? He probably is worse than Epstein. Probably on the same league. And Epstein obviously ended up taking his own life. So now I'm, assumed if he took his own life, what is Diddy going to do? I'm surprised he hasn't taken his own life as of right now. I'm sure an update would be imminent, as far as I'm concerned, that this man has taken his own life. So he hasn't done that to himself. I think his ego is too big for him to do that, and he genuinely believes that he's not guilty, and he feels that he's going to fight this right to the end. But These day-long orgies, a lot of people are focused on the baby oil bottles and the fact that there's 1,000 baby oil bottles. That is something that we should not be focusing on in terms of what was found. What we should be focusing on is the IV drips. I don't think people understand the madness of IV drips. You take IV drips when you have low potassium, sodium, you're feeling very fatigued, very tired, exhausted, and you're very ill, unwell. You know, you perhaps are passing diarrhea and you've lost so much salt, so much water, and you need to hydrate yourself to continue on with your day. These workers, these victims who were placed in these positions were forced to take IV drips so that they can continue being used and abused. I don't think people understand the depth of how dark that is, that they were basically forced under IV drips because they were dehydrated, lack of salt, potassium, very dizzy, could not do anymore, basically physically, mentally worn out. But Diddy was like, nope, you're going again and again and again, and I'm going to put you on IV drips. So therefore there were nurses and doctors or whoever there to instill these IV drips. And I want to know where those nurses are or whoever those people are, because Diddy definitely wasn't putting these IV drips in these people. He probably doesn't even know where to find the veins and etc. So those people should also be held account. This is what I mean, that other people are definitely going to go down. I don't think they're all going to be famous. A lot of them could be executives, but I'm sure they're probably protected. But these people around him are definitely going down, who helped enable this and keep these people there. The fact that he would watch this stuff remotely, I think we need to break down this New York Post. Watch it remotely from his cell phone clearly means that other people were guarding, protecting, and, you know, keeping it afloat whilst other men were using these girls and boys. So again, this is what I mean, that other people are definitely going to be going down for the madness of what we are seeing here. And for him now to be in therapy, I think is a lawyer tactic. His lawyer doesn't know what he's doing. And, you know, as a lawyer, you need to be more slick. And I just feel like he's just not being slick with Diddy. Granted, it's very hard to maneuver with this client because Diddy doesn't even know what, you know, he's doing himself. And he's obviously, you know, there's video evidence, he's been charged. So I think that Diddy is definitely going to be having some prison time. But these day-long orgies, Tom Bryant, the head of showbiz at the sister title of the Mirror News, has spoken out and has said, I went to a Diddy party with hand-picked women. What I saw will stay with me forever. It's 4 a.m. in a packed Parisian nightclub in 2007. The music is pumping and I'm surrounded by dozens of clad women, all writhing furiously. It's quite the end to a journalistic assignment, but you can't say I have been warned. Just hours before I'd interviewed P. Diddy in the French capital, during which he bragged there was no party like a Diddy party. Only now, with the rappers languishing in prison, do the words have a sinister quality. But back then, it was a great soundbite. And I vividly remember thinking he was true to his word, as sitting regal-like in the corner of the club, Diddy generously sent over endless magnums of champagne to my table. These are on Diddy. He wants you to have a good night. I'm in a tiny VIP room, which is filled to the brim with women, specially handpicked by Diddy's entourage. Some of them are from the club itself, others have been transported. As I quaff glass after glass of the finest bubbles, my evening takes a strange turn, as at one point a stray foot brushes my face. A woman, minus her heels, is being lifted over the throng by two burly members of security and plonked down by Diddy's side, where she proceeds to gyrate next to him. I'll never forget his partner Kim, who has since passed away, sitting by his side and seemingly unperturbed by the X-rated scene unfolding before her. It was very bizarre, but not out of keeping with that transpired earlier that evening when I found myself in Diddy's dressing room at the Bercy Stadium. With full-size portraits of himself hanging on the walls and candles flickering, my interview began on a romantic note. I've spent a lot of time with Kim in Paris, he told us, and it's been perfect. As soon as we landed, we went straight to the Eiffel, drank champagne at the top and kissed. But Diddy was only getting started, he says. Then we went up to my suite and had tantric sex for at least 30 hours, ordering up whipped cream and strawberries. As meticulous as I am with my work, I'm more meticulous with lovemaking. Later, I asked him about his famous parties. We don't charge £4,000 to come to my parties. We give money away. We give drinks away. We give fine food away. I lose a lot of money putting on these events, but I don't care. There's always a special guest list with iconic individuals mixing people from show business and everyday life. After partying that night in Paris, he was back at it again the following week, but in London, with guests including Sienna Miller. I'm not a name dropper. I never reveal who goes to my parties. The important thing is that they have a good time, and with all the beautiful women and finest champagne, they probably will. As Diddy awaits trial, they are words which he may come to regret. So it seems that one of the head of show business of The Mirror have come out to, just give an interview of what he basically experienced, and that, there were multiple women carried around, and the fact that Kim Porter was unperturbed to a lot of this that was going on, was probably, used to this lifestyle that he was very much living, and the fact that he would also have these parties in London. Now, I didn't know they was having these parties in London. I knew it was obviously in New York, obviously in America, obviously in Paris for Fashion Week, but I didn't think that he was doing it here in London as much as everywhere else. So if people are going to go down, it's definitely going to be UK celebrities as well, or anybody affiliated, unless they've paid off people. But a lot of these record executives, I want to bring it back to, are resigning. A lot of people are quitting. They're not being fired. They are willfully resigning. Do you think that they would leave their jobs with their high salaries if it wasn't something serious? And they've all decided to resign. 23andMe, people who take your DNA, the majority of board have resigned, is insane. What are they planning? What do they have? What database do they have? It's all very odd. And for them to resign 2 days after Diddy was charged is not a coincidence to me. It probably is all affiliated. I wouldn't be surprised if at Diddy's parties, he wasn't just drugging them and using them for intimacy or trafficking them, but perhaps even taking DNA. Perhaps even harvesting organs or something. Because all of that is also very true. People look at trafficking and they're only looking at it from one angle, where it's a form of sex, when there's other forms of trafficking that you can do, or collection of data, which you can do, which our phones take anyways from us. Like I said, it's not just about the 1,000 baby bottles. Look at the IV drips and the fact that they would do that. If they were inserting things into these people to take IV drips, what makes you think they weren't collecting things from people? Like, you have to give your phones away before you get in, but surely they're collecting your DNA. Maybe that's affiliated with 23andMe. It's a theory, but what I'm trying to say to you guys at the end of this video is open up your mind when we're discussing this Diddy stuff and look at every single angle. Don't just look at what people are taking as the majority of a reaction. Everybody's reacting to the baby bottles as if it's over masking everything else, and I don't like that. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. Make sure you look at every angle, regardless of what people are saying and doing. Let me know your thoughts. I want to come to this video. Subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm covering as much as I can when it comes to this Diddy stuff, so definitely click that button. You know me, I'm going to run through several topics in one video and get it all out to you guys as quick as possible so that you guys can stay clued up and we can wait to the next update. Let's get to 350,000 subscribers, Murad Nation. We can definitely do it, guys. Subscribe, send us super things if you guys wish to. There's a $ there and it goes a long way, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.